Hey everybody, it's June 25th, 2009, and I have been on testosterone for 12 weeks. I took my 13th shot this morning, and I'm really excited because this means I'm just a week or so away from my 3-month mark. Today is Johnny Quest, Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, so you can watch that or watch me, whichever you find more interesting. Hopefully you're here to see me though. So, as far as key changes this time, I've noticed that my thought process has changed a lot. I used to be able to multitask a lot, but I find now that if I hear two things at once, whereas I used to be able to listen to both and filter them and deal with one at a time, now I find that if I hear two things at once, I actually jumble them in my head. If somebody's talking to me and the intercom at work is going off, I end up not understanding either one because I jumble them together, which I find really interesting. Just because, again, you know, before I could really just do things all at once, so I've had to kind of change the way that I do things. I have to kind of stop people and be like, give me 1 second, and sometimes I think they're taking it the wrong way, but I'm just like, give me 1 second, and then, you know, once I give my attention, I'm like, okay, now start over. I've also noticed, I was noticing towards the end of the week, I was having a lot of, like, issues, and I was feeling like a lot of my changes weren't going as fast as they had been. I felt kind of like I was plateauing. So again, I upped my dose a couple weeks ago, and the new dose has been working out really well. But I have noticed these flashes of anger. Today especially was pretty bad, where I just get angry, just all of a sudden. And I think that will level out like it did last time. I think my body's getting used to the new dose. But it is something that's changed a little bit. And I'm thinking it's going to even out because it did with my last dose. So I think that's kind of a temporary thing. Also, I've noticed that a lot of sexual changes. I'm not really going to go into those here, but I do talk about them on my blog, which I'm actually not going to link to. But if you want to know, private message me. I can give you that link. But I have noticed a lot of changes as far as sex goes, and I find a lot of them really, really interesting. And a lot of that is what the body does during that. So if you're interested in that at all, private message me. I'll give you a link to my blog, which I actually talk about a lot more personal changes and more adult changes that I'm not really sure are suited for YouTube, especially since everybody watches this. Also, my acne has been pretty bad the past couple weeks. I think most of that is because during the move, I really slacked on doing all my acne stuff. Like I said, I use a medicine in the morning, a medical wash, medicated wash, and then I use an astringent, and then at night I use a non-medicated scrub, and then a spot treatment. And I wasn't doing any of that during the move because I just didn't have time, and I couldn't find everything was packed up, and I was already stressed out. So between the stress and the move, it's been pretty bad. Since I've started doing it again, which has been the past week or so, it's cleared up a lot, especially my chest and my back. But my face is still kind of breaking out. I think it'll take a little bit longer, but hopefully that'll even out again. As far as life changes go, there's really not a whole lot going on that hasn't been going on in my last video. But I did want to talk a little bit about what has been going on. Angie, can you get Hikaru? I know that in a lot of my videos I haven't really talked about a whole lot, but I find it kind of repetitive to say the same things over and over again. I don't want to say that the changes haven't progressed, but I want to make it clear that if I haven't said it stopped happening, then it probably haven't. All the same stuff that I've said in my past videos is continuing. You know, muscle growth, private area growth, hair growth, And again, hair pattern, which I find particularly interesting. And all these things are really still going on. There's not really any plateau as far as that stuff goes, except of course when I was talking about my tea change, when I changed my dosage. So I just want to make that clear that that I know that sometimes my information maybe is a little sparse, but I like to talk about new things that I'm starting to notice and especially things that I haven't really noticed before. Also, another thing I want to talk about is Angie and I have been talking about starting a new channel. I know we've been over this before, but this is different. This is different, I promise. What we want to do is we noticed that a lot of collab channels, while they're very, very helpful, don't tend to answer a lot of the questions that we care about. And we really are interested in starting a channel that, with just the two of us, talking about partner issues, and talking about really questions that we had that we could not find the answer to anywhere. Sort of like Hudson's FTM guide, but videos, and maybe a little less scientific, although knowing us, probably not. But we really want to talk about our experiences as far as what we've been through and how that can help other people. And again, taking questions that we have that we had in the past that we couldn't find answers to, and that we want to provide answers to. So as of right now, it's kind of just in the planning, but we'll probably be talking about that more later on. And again, we want to focus on really helpful topics, like
the science behind it.
And the science behind them too, which is more Angie's deal than mine. And again, we want to talk about too partner issues that we feel just don't get covered quite as well. We want to talk more about what makes a relationship work. We noticed that we find it hard. Before I started testosterone, before I started transitioning, we found so many things saying that couples don't make it, and it really really hurt us, and made both of us pause, because you look at a transition and you see every couple out there, you can't find one that lasts. And now, of course, we have seen people and their relationships are lasting, but there were just so many, especially before starting testosterone, where you see people who've been together, anywhere from 1 to 20 years, and then all of a sudden when they transition, it just doesn't work anymore. Since I've started transitioning, which has been about, I guess, 6 months in the making now, we haven't really noticed any issues with our relationship. And I think there's something to be said, especially as hard as the past 6 months have been for both of us, and as hard as this has been for both of us. We really haven't noticed any sort of strain in our relationship. So we really want to talk about stuff that maybe is helping our relationship work, or just questions that Angie might have had when I was starting that haven't been answered. So again, I'll probably do another video with Angie about that, and once we get that settled, we're writing a list of topics that we feel is really important. If you have any ideas, again, private message us, let us know. We'd be happy to hear any questions that you've never heard answered that we might be able to answer. And as I get other things done, we'll be answering questions about that too. Again, it won't be a how we feel more thing. It'll kind of be more of a what we feel is necessary, what needs to be said that we haven't heard enough of. So 12 weeks on testosterone, super exciting, almost 3 months. I'm going to go get some food now, so thanks for watching. See you next week.